Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. And thank God Tim is here because he hit the go live button. And I won't do the first 15 minutes with myself today. As fun as that was yesterday, I don't want to do that again. But welcome in. We got another great show for you. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, from our Dallas affiliate, FanStream Sports Dallas. What's up, partner? How are you?
Yeah, not only did you screw up the beginning of your show on a day that I wasn't even supposed to be there, you threw me under the bus.
Yes, I did.
Like, it was my it's not even my day there. It was Monday. And I would have been on when Nick couldn't, but I had a doctor's appointment scheduled because I wasn't supposed to be on the air. So
Right.
Yeah, but I'm listening to it, editing it later. I was like, wait a minute, this is the guy on the right. That's me. Because he was blaming that guy on the right on the screen.
Well, if you were here, you would have got it right. So you weren't. So you get the blame. That's how that works.
I'll take it.
I'll
take it. It's always my fault. If I didn't learn anything from 3 ex-wives, it's that everything is my fault.
It's always going to be your fault. It's always going to be your fault.
Yeah.
See my hat here today?
I do.
You can't see it. It's kind of, the emblem's not very big. It's from the Hockey Hall of Fame. Yeah, there you go. See it? The Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. My good friend Paul Stewart was up there last week and he picked me up a hat. So thanks, buddy. So I wore it today just for you, Paul.
Paul Stewart visited the Hockey Hall of Fame that's located in a strip mall.
It's located in the strip mall, and he came and he talked to me last night with his Cockney accent and ripping on my Irish accent, which I did last night. Of course, it was St. Paddy's Day in Emily Arena. Yeah. So I rocked the Irish brogue, and they loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, but it didn't last long.
No.
But it was quick, and it was funny, and it was good, and people loved it, but that's all you're going to get. So
it's all right.
And the Lightning skated like they were Irish a little bit last night at times. It was a little helter-skelter. The Irish don't skate very well, in case you didn't know that. Not a lot of
wonder why.
Not a lot of Irish speed skaters, as far as I know, or hockey players. Yeah, they were. It was an interesting game last night. So we'll get into that. We got a lot of Bucs talk we're going to do today since Timmy's here. We'll talk about Hassan Reddick, Lavonte David yesterday. Had some interesting things to say at his presser. So we'll get into that, all the things going on in the NFL. And TJ Reeves is going to join us at around 10:20 before he goes on his college basketball show. And we're going to talk about what a travesty this tournament is that North Carolina gets in over West Virginia. Like, it's not even close to the FSU snub, but it smells a lot like it. The UNC.
I think it's worse.
You think it's worse?
I think it's worse.
First of all, there's nothing worse than the FSU snub.
All
it
right.
is the worst thing that ever happened in the history of college football.
I got 2 FSU people in the Tampa studio right
That's
now.
Right. Shut up. It is the worst thing that ever happened in the history of college football. It is the biggest injustice maybe in our nation's history.
Come on.
Listen, people say stupid things these days because they have no idea about history. Like, and it comes out of the mouths of these people in Washington all the time about Nazism and that they have no idea what that is obviously all about.
Correct.
The Nazis. Yeah. So I can say stupid, illiterate, historical things like that because I think that's allowed now.
It's a free country.
It's the worst injustice in the history of America. Of course, that's not true.
You know what? I do think it's gonna prompt some changes, though, the way that whole thing is handled. It has.
But and I love the fact that every time they bring on Cunningham, the UNC athletic director or chancellor, whatever the hell he is, who is the chair of the committee. Exactly. Every time they bring him on, they make, ESPN goes to great lengths to make sure he was never in the room when UNC was considered. He was recused himself at every moment that they talked about North Carolina. I'm like, shut up. You had 1 quad win. West Virginia had 6. End of story. I don't need another stat. You had 1 quad win. That's it. But North Carolina had nothing to do with getting into this tournament. even though they were the last one in. Nothing. Does anybody really believe that? Anyone? But this is what the world has become. You can look right into a camera and say stupid shit like that, and people go, that's right, it's fair. No, it wasn't fair. It was, and I love the. I don't know if you saw the guy from the West Virginia. I think it was either the governor or somebody in the legislature jumping up in the middle of the well at the Senate or wherever the hell they were, something that should be for government business. Let's just put it that way. Should be reserved for government business. This dude is like, West Virginia had 6 quad wins. North Carolina had 1. Their RPI and strength of schedule. The dude was just like Jim Nance it all the way through.
Oh, he knew his stuff too. He knew his stuff.
Go, little bald man. You are killing it. You are killing it. Just keep rolling.
He used to do a Big 12 talk show or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Ronnie D the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Ronnie D just riffed for like 10 minutes on all Florida sports. Ronnie D would be our great governor, Ron DeSantis. He literally sat there on no prompter, no nothing. And just, somebody asked him about baseball. So he started talking about Rays baseball. And as we reported last week, he mentioned that he knows the people, the Tampa businessmen that are trying to buy the Rays and move the team to Tampa. So he's fully aware of it. And he is definitely a fan of the team moving to Tampa. I probably shouldn't say it that way. Keeping it in Tampa Bay. We'll just put it that way, keeping it in Tampa Bay. But he's aware of all the things that are going on. So, and by the way, we'll do a little update on that as well. But he just then, unprompted, he went through our hockey teams, dropped the old, all the Canadians are still coming down here to see a team that can actually win a Stanley Cup. That joke will never get old, so keep telling it, Ronnie D. That's
not until they win one.
That's fantastic. Just keep using that one. Go to the well. And then he went through every one of our college football teams. He went through all the baseball teams, the NFL teams. I mean, the whole thing. He just did the whole thing. Right from the top of his head.
Right off the top of his head, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't super detailed, but he nailed it all. So, congrats. We got to get him on the show. Just riffing sports for 2 hours. Hell yeah.
Oh, he'd come on this show.
Absolutely. Yeah, he loves us. Yeah. He loves us. I have a friend of mine that used to work in his office too, so we can hopefully get that done. Connection. All right. Yes. All right, so let's get into it as the Bolts last night. We'll begin with them. It was a weird game. Did you get a chance to watch the game, Timmy?
I watched a little bit of the whatever they call it, the recap.
Yeah, the back and forth, it was like, the Lightning locked it down in the third. They did a really nice job of locking it down in the third, did not allow a whole lot of shots. Going back to the second period against Boston on Saturday where they did not allow a shot on goal, which was just insane. Never seen that before in my life. For 4 periods, they allowed 17 shots on goal. The last 2 in Boston and the first 2 last night, 17 shots on goal. I mean, I can win a Vezina doing that. That is like, but Fassi had to make some big saves because in a weird kind of way, even though they weren't getting a lot of opportunities, like every opportunity they got was a really good one. It was a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2, a breakaway. There was a lot of, I think the Bolts gave it away 18 times last night. I know that stat's kind of a little if versus last night were ridiculous. And it's just lucky that no one from the Flyers has any clue whatsoever how to put a puck in the net. Thank God. Because they couldn't finish. They could not finish anything, any of those chances that they got. So it's not like the Lightning played a great tight game. They did enough to win, and which is good enough this time of year. Get your 2 points, keep coming up the standings. I think they're now 2 points behind the Panthers, the stinking Panthers, with a game in hand, as are the Maple Leafs, who won 6-2 last night. So both Toronto and Tampa Bay 2 points behind, and with a game, I think they both have, or the Lightning have a game in hand, and I believe Toronto does as well. Anyway, so it's tight. It's the top 3. It's tight. But as I was talking with Brian Engbaum about this last night in the postgame show, and he kind of said, yeah, it maybe is not a bad idea. Don't try to pick who you play in the playoffs because that always seems to bite you in the ass. But why wouldn't you want the Panthers in the first round? You got to play them eventually. So with Marchand hurt, and they think he's coming back for the playoffs, but they don't know when, right? How good is he going to be? How rusty is he going to be?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the injury is. Same with Tkachuk, which I think is a lower body injury. So obviously he's a huge part of what the Panthers do. Will he be ready for the first round series? I don't know. And how effective will he be? If it's a lower body injury, how much has it healed?
Right.
I don't know. And Ekblad's on this 20-game suspension, so he's not going to come back until probably right before the playoffs or at the playoffs. So to me, if you got to play the Panthers, let's get them first round, because I think that's when they'll be most vulnerable. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. I'd rather play Florida because, like you said, probably going to run into them anyway. Get it out of the way early while they're still hurt, while Marshawn's not there, especially. And again, you don't want to, you never, like you said, you never want to pick your opponent you especially don't want to mouth off about it before it happens.
No.
That always backfires.
It's just, I know I work for the Lightning, but I do not represent, because John Cooper would hear me say this, go, shut the hell up, bro. What are you talking about? I'm not saying this as a member of the Lightning broadcast team. I'm saying this as a member of the JP Peterson show. We're just riffing here, coach. Don't get mad at me. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious that's where you'd want to get the Panthers. So, yeah. And by the way, I'll take a wounded Panthers team, beat them, and be fine with that. That's fine.
Not even care. Yep. Too bad.
Okay. Yeah. That's, but so anyway, and even look, they're going to be a tough out. I mean, who we kidding? they're going to be a tough out. And the chances are both those guys will be ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it one way or another. It's going to be one hell of a series. You got to beat the best to be the best. We're not scared. That's for damn sure. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But the Lightning definitely the last few games have not been what we saw in February. They're not even close. And I think, they're mixing up the lines. Gord was playing with Kucherov in point last night. So that's a little bit different. Cirelli, Hagel have played, with Gord as well. So they're mixing and matching. So I think Cooper's starting to find what's going to work best as far as these lines go. And they still got some time, obviously. So while you're mixing and matching and trying to figure out who plays best with who, if you're picking up points, that's good. So they've won 2 in a row now. They pointed in the last 3 games. So they're off that schneid. Now they got to go to Dallas, by the way. Are you going Thursday night? You going to get a credential?
Yeah. Yes, I will be there.
So they got Dallas, and Dallas has been playing well. How's Rantanen fitting in?
It's been a little bit of an unexpected struggle since Rantanen got there, but I think they're finally starting to get together. Had to do a little bit of line shuffling, I think, early on when he got here to find some flow, to find some chemistry. But because look, the Stars team, much like the Lightning, they are highly chemistry driven. All right, these guys have played on the same lines together for years, and I don't care who it is, even Rantanen, you throw him in there, it's going to disrupt a little bit of the flow until you're trying to find a spot for him and where he's going to fit best.
I mean, look at the Lightning, the same thing.
Yeah. And I think they're just now getting into that. You've lost 2 in a row, though, 3 out of the last 4. Lost to the Oilers, the Jets, and the Avalanche.
Wow.
Yeah, beat the Canucks. So they play the Ducks tonight. Then they've got the Lightning on Thursday. And I don't know. It's the flow they're kind of like where the Lightning are right now. Yeah. Their February was incredible. But now here we are, middle of March, and things aren't looking quite so easy as they will this time of year for everybody, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you take these teams and you bring in a Rantanen, obviously that's a huge change. It's different. Guys defer to him, right? They want to get him the puck. So they're not necessarily making choices based on what's perfect in the play and the chemistry. It's like, oh, we got to feed him. He's the new guy. He's the scoring guy. And Gord comes in, so he's trying to fit in to do what he does, that hard charging energy all the time, forecheck, where does that fit? Does it fit well with Point and Cooch? Because he can get more puck possession and feed them, and he can finish as well. So is that something that works well together? So all these different fits, you're not going to know until you face some of the better teams as well. And I think, Coop said it last night after the game. He's like, yeah, we won tonight, but this is not, we made a lot of mistakes tonight. We had a lot of turnovers. We did not cover well. Too many odd man rushes, all that. He knows that. So he knows when they play the better teams, like you give Dallas the kind of opportunities that Philadelphia had last night, and they're going to score 5 times. Yeah. It's just that's going to happen. I mean, Philly's really struggling putting it in the net right now. So this is an important road trip. So they got Dallas on Thursday. Then they got Utah, who's only 2 points out. Only 2 points out of the playoffs.
How is that possible?
How about that? Yeah. So, I mean, and for them, obviously.
Don't even have a name.
Yeah. they haven't named it yet? I thought they named it already.
Utah Hockey Club.
Still the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah.
But didn't they have like a vote earlier this year?
I think they were all
settle on something. I don't know. But anyway, so Sergey and the boys are 2 points out. So you know you're going to get their best on Saturday. And then you're back to back. Saturday's an afternoon game, and then you're going to Vegas for a primetime game on Sunday night. In Vegas, obviously leading the Pacific. So,
yeah.
They're going to learn a lot about their new look team. And if they can get 3 points out of this trip, I'll be thrilled. I still think they're fine trying to find their way with the new guys, and I could expect, again, if they go up against a Dallas team that's lost 3 or 4 and 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to be ornery.
And they've got the Ducks tonight, so we'll see what happens tonight. If they lose to the Ducks, you're on a 3-game skid.
They're not losing to the Ducks.
4 out of 5.
They better beat the Ducks tonight, because I don't want them to lose to the Ducks and then be looking at the Lightning like
some revenge,
like a big fat pork chop on the grill.
I mean, look, the Stars are 5th in scoring in the league. They're 2nd on the penalty kill. So the Lightning better come in Thursday and be ready to score.
Yeah. Well, listen, and the penalty kill was huge last night. They had a 4-minute double minor in the second period. It's still a 1-0 game, and the Lightning did a great job of killing that off with Hagel, Sorelli, Glendening. Yeah, they did a fantastic job. Actually had a couple of offensive moments in that 4. I think they may have gotten more shots than Philly did during that 4-minute, and that was huge. And they were 5 for 5 on the penalty kill last night. And then they get the very odd empty net power play goal at the end.
Crazy.
So
crazy stat.
Gensel. Yeah. And Cooch almost got another assist to Pointer, who has scored once in 12 games, I believe.
Yeah.
So they need to get him going as well. So I'm not, I would like to see the Lightning get back to February. And because since the new guys got here, it's been a little bit of a challenge, to say the least. But the fact that, they've gotten points. So that's good. If you're still trying to find yourself and what works best and you're getting points, that's good, because it's going to put you in favor. And, and I know I don't know if we're going to get into it today, but the setup of the playoffs, I think a lot of people are starting to say we need to go back to the old 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. These pods of divisional playoffs, where they, you 1 through 4 in the Atlantic, 1 through 4 in the Metro. It just, what happens is the 4 best teams. I mean, Washington obviously has a great record, but I think we all are looking at that going, are they the best team in the East? Are they better than the Panthers? No.
I don't think so.
Are they better than Toronto? No. Are they better than the Lightning? No.
Probably not right now.
No. So, I think those are the 4 best teams, but you're going to get some teams of lesser quality that are, excuse me, allergies. Yeah, big sneeze could be coming, but some lesser quality teams that'll advance higher. So I think NHL needs to go back to that 1 versus 8. Would you agree?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Yeah. It should have never gone away.
I mean, it does foster rivalries within the division. I get that. But at what expense? I mean, like last year, the Lightning, I think, were a much better team than a lot of the teams that advanced. But, they played the Panthers early on, and they played them tough. Yeah. But it just couldn't beat them this particular time. All right. Buccaneers, Lavonte David chatted with the team yesterday, or with the media yesterday. I thought he had some interesting things to say about coming back. I'm going to try to play this. Or you want to try to play this, Timmy? Or
let's see which one right here. Let's see if we can.
I'll let you do it.
I mean, it was in the back. I mean, all the stats come in and out. There's so many stats out there.
Talking about Derek Brooks' tackle record.
It wasn't a big focus. You know what I'm saying? I'm not competing with Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks is still light years ahead of where I want to be. But go back to what you said, man. It would be an incredible accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? To be, the leader for a franchise. In tackles. That's that's something every kid, dream of, especially a kid in my position. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I would be signing a contract to play my 14th season with the same organization. So it's incredible, man. It's very humbling. It's very amazing. It'd be great to do that. But at the same time, I'm just blessed to be able to play this game. DB is Mr. Franchise. Everybody want to be, motivate what they do after their Brooks on the field and off the field. So for me to be mentioned in the same breath is always, incredible.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, Lavonte is he's an icon. It's just the softest spoken icon that nobody knows about in this league. He's just not a me guy. You've told this story many times. They have a silhouette. I like to call it the logo in the Bucs draft room. That is Lavonte David and the qualities that he brings: selflessness, hard work, talent, all those things. That's the player we're looking for. When we draft the player, that's the guy. So he's the logo for the Buccaneers. He is the logo, and he embodies everything that Derek Brooks embodied. He will one day be in the Ring of Honor. I think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. Like Rondé, his numbers will be too big to ignore, and where it stacks up in his generation of inside linebackers. Yeah. I think only Luke Kuechly is his peer in terms of the numbers. And now not in Pro Bowls. He's gotten a few Pro Bowls later in his career, deservedly so, but he should have gone so many more times earlier in his career. But I still think if Ira Kaufman's still alive to make the speech, Ira, clean up that diet. Get out on the tennis court. If he's going to make that, as Sal Palantonio has told us many times, Ira is the godfather of presentations. He's the best in the business. And I think he can get Lavonte in based on the numbers, because when he gets done, he's going to be top 5 in tackles, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, sacks and interceptions. Total is going to be among the best. That total versatility that got Rondé into the Hall of Fame will get Lavonte David into the Hall of Fame as well. So having him back is incredible. And again, you're seeing a little bit of this residue, even from our own fans. I see fans saying, well, where's our big splash? Well, Hassan Reddick's a pretty damn big splash. When you go look at the numbers, there's only 5 guys that have over 50 sacks over the last 5 years. Yeah. And all the other 4 are making $30 million a year or about to. So the Bucs got this dude on 1 year, $14 million. Every one of those other guys is going to be making $30 million. So
and everybody
is a steal.
Everybody thought he was pretty good a year ago when the Jets traded for him, and the Bucs, all the Bucs fans were like, could we not have gotten him? Like, we're even in the running. Did the Bucs try? Did Jason Light make a call? Whatever. So you were pissed whenever you didn't have an opportunity to get him last year. Now you got him in free agency. You didn't have to give anything up to get him, and you got him on the cheap. Yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy this year, because he's gonna demand big money next year if you want to keep him.
I was a little skeptical going in with this because of, kind of his money attitude. Yeah. And I don't think it fit in the Bucs culture. Not playing is just not an option for me if you're a good professional football player. Lavonte David would never do that, for an extended period of time. Everybody holds out a little bit here and there, but for an extended period of time like he did, no, it just doesn't fit the Bucs culture. And I listened to his interview over the weekend, and I kind of turned on that. He explained it pretty well, that it was a bad situation. He didn't want to go to the Jets. He chose the Buccaneers, right? Big difference. Yep. He didn't want to go there. His representation assured him basically that he was going to get a new deal from the Jets, and the Jets were like, nah, that's not happening, not at these numbers. So, he and this is what happens to a lot of players sometimes when they listen to their agents, wholeheartedly, and just don't think it through themselves. They think, okay, this guy's been in the business for a long time. He knows what he's doing. I'll sit back and listen, but I really want to be out there playing. And they screw themselves. So even though you have an agent, doesn't mean you have to listen to him all the time. If your convictions tell you differently, get rid of that agent and get another one.
Yeah, also doesn't mean he's a good one.
No, exactly.
Or that he has your best interest at heart, because normally they don't.
Exactly, because they get a cut and they want the biggest cut they can get. So I think he got screwed himself over a little bit with that. So I think the Bucs got to steal in Hassan Reddick if he can approach his consistent numbers that he's been able to do over his career, which is double-digit sacks almost every freaking year. Since he got put in the right place. I think he was playing inside linebacker early in his career. So once he got settled, and he's a guy that is a tactician, and he's not only a great athlete, but he has a repertoire of moves and sets people up. And if you're going to be a elite pass rusher these days, that's what you got to do. You can't just, be Reggie White, throw the hump move, kill everybody on your way to the quarterback. You got to be a chess player. And he is. So I like it, and I can't wait to see him in a package dropping into coverage like every 5 play.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I do not want to see him dropping into coverage like Yaya Diaby. Stop with that foolishness, Todd Bowles. Let your pass rushers pass rush, not cover backs out of the backfield on the most important third down of the game. I still can't believe that happened. And anyway, did I hear the TJ Reeves pop in? Is he here?
He is here. He is waving.
I thought I heard that. I heard that StreamYard pop. Because there he is, the handsome TJ Reeves. What's up, brother? How are you?
I don't know about handsome. It has been a last few days. It's good to be with you. I had travels and travails with a lot of people, tens of thousands of people trying to get back on Sunday. There was a time, JP and Timmy, where I thought I was spending the night in the Hartsfield Airport in the A terminal. That was going on for a while.
Been there, done that.
So we got it done. We flew back, landed in Tampa almost 4 a.m. on Monday. What day is it? Oh, wait a minute. Today is Tuesday. That's
Today's
right.
Tuesday.
We got the day straight. We're ready for the NCAA tournament. Should be a lot of fun with all of this. We can go any avenue that you want to go.
Well, first thing I want to say is,
you want to go Buccaneers? You want to go?
No, before we go any further, Sunday on Hartsfield Airport on spring break. It's literally one of the most busy times of the year, the top 5 days of the year. And what's amazing to me is in Hartsfield, they're so ingenious. The engineers at Hartsfield Airport have found a way in all that square footage. You cannot find one place to lay down that's comfortable unless you are in a hotel or in a lounge.
That's the
There's not one. Every seat is curved. Every nook and cranny. Don't even think about laying on the carpet. Good God knows what diseases are in there. I mean, you can't lay down anywhere. It's impossible. That place is just it's
and
like
there were hundreds and hundreds trying to do just that in all of these different gates. On Sunday night, there were so many planes that were delayed 6 hours, JP, 8 hours, leaving Atlanta, coming back to Atlanta. I mean, in our case, the plane that was supposed to take us to Tampa from Atlanta was still stuck in Tampa and had been there because of bad weather, had been at TIA for over 7 hours waiting to leave, needing the weather to clear, needing to make sure they had the pilots and the flight attendants and the weather to clear. So that plane got into Atlanta. These are first world problems, but it got into Atlanta about 1:45 a.m. that was supposed to have arrived like at 7 p.m. So all of those people have missed their connection. I mean, you're talking about 300 people get off the plane. Yeah. They've all missed their connecting flights. If they're not staying in Atlanta, they're all done. They're all cooked.
No room for
you. Got to wait till later. You got to wait till later in the day to fly Monday. Then all of us pile on the plane and we leave about 2:45 a.m. And I'm saying to the people around me that I'm traveling with and stuff, this is the plane that's bringing everybody else back to Atlanta at 6 o'clock in the morning out of TIA. Yeah. And it was the plane. We land at like 4 a.m. It's the plane they're going to clean up, refuel, and pile everybody on to go back to Atlanta.
Waiting all night in Tampa.
Okay, so we go down towards baggage claim, and there are people everywhere checking in at 4 a.m., 4:15 in the morning. There are people laying on the floor sleeping that are stuck, all in the airside area. There are people down at baggage claim that are sleeping around their bags, that have been down there waiting with their bags and are asleep at 4 in the morning because they're going to start over at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. at TIA trying to get out. It was mayhem. I'm glad we're here, but you're right. Hartsfield was nuts. 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I mean, we were sitting there at like 1 a.m. before the plane got there. Here comes an entire baseball team, like 20-something-year-old college kids. And I mean, there's like 25 of them and the coaches, and they are sprinting by us in the A terminal. I mean, they're running as fast as they can at 1 a.m. I don't know what plane they had landed off of. I don't know where they were going. It was crazy. I'm just glad to be with you. So it's March Madness, it's Bucs, whatever you like.
All right, so I want to hit basketball real quick. This UNC thing, the chairman of the tournament just happened to be the UNC athletic director.
Just happened to be, yes.
Yeah. And they assured us every time he came on that he was not in the room when UNC was being discussed.
Right.
Somehow the Tar Heels get in the tournament with 1 quad win over West Virginia, who had 6 quad wins.
Right.
What type
or Indiana had 5.
Corruption are we dealing with here? What the hell is going on?
And this is bigger than the FSU bowl snub.
No, it's not. It's
because JP says it's not. I say it's bigger, but I didn't go to FSU.
FSU should have been in the college football playoff, and North Carolina. Good Lord, that looked like an NIT team. Did we not hear for 2 weeks? They have to beat Duke in the regular season finale. Didn't do it.
No,
they have to win a key game in the ACC tournament.
Did not do it.
Didn't do it. And yet they still put them in. And everybody that wants to scream corruption, you want to go next level? Bubba Cunningham has a $140,000 bonus for North Carolina making the NCAA tournament.
And he has performance bonuses built in depending on how they do in the tournament.
If they win tournament games, he gets more money.
He gets more money.
You gotta be kidding me.
In a courtroom, all right? In a courtroom with a judge where they come forward and say, Your Honor, this is your cousin that's on trial. You can't be the judge. Guess what? You can't be the judge.
You can't be the judge. But he wasn't in the room when it was being discussed. Do you think anybody that was discussing it in the room knows the guy? Has been eating and drinking.
And here's the other dynamic.
Around when they're having beers.
And here's the other dynamic. He comes back in the room. All right, I keep saying this. They're looking at him. He's looking at them. He looks at the wall. They're not in the tournament. He looks at them. They look at him. They're not in the tournament, even though he was out of the room while it was being discussed. So I realize all of this goes away once you throw the ball up tonight. And I look for San Diego State to beat them tonight. And it will only reinforce when I believe they do beat them. This team did not belong. Indiana, Boise State, West Virginia had better cases, but once again, politics, that kind of thing, it plays in, and it had influence here.
So, just like people still think that college football committee was real. No, it was not real. None of these committees are real. It's all rigged.
By the way, we can never prove this because they never show it, but we know there's a representative from CBS and a representative from Turner right there.
That's right.
If not right in the room, virtually they're in the room on video or whatever, and they're going over. How do you accidentally have Bill Self in Kansas, this is in your part of the world, Timmy, playing John Calipari in Arkansas, and in a pod, the winner's going to play Rick Pitino in St. John's? Yeah, that just accidentally turns out to be a gold made-for-TV matchup.
You want to draw? There it is.
Again, that just accidentally happened. It's just
the WWE scriptwriters were.
It's accidentally that Florida, who had such a tremendous end of the year and won the SEC tournament, may be playing UConn on a Sunday game at 5 o'clock before 60 Minutes on CBS against the two-time defending champs.
Shocking development.
Yeah. So
by the way, are you calling any of these games coming up here, TJ?
I am not calling any of those games. I had the two conference games last week. We'll go over those teams in just a second. Yeah. But the mayhem that's about to take place, I am on a campaign and have been for several years. Will you join me, hand in hand, arm in arm, that Thursday and Friday should be national holidays?
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing getting done on Thursday and Friday. There's nothing getting done.
I gotta be out at the Valspar live.
I understand. You're going to be there live on the show, and you're working the golf
by noon. So then we go to the Hooters House and watch NCAA.
All the office productivity, right off the cliff. Nobody's working. Everybody's watching this with their brackets and with their stuff.
Especially those federal government employees.
That's
they
true.
Will not be working.
They've been doing everything else
anyway.
It's true, but. Again, these should be national holidays. This is going to be so much fun. And more advice again, don't pick all the favorites.
No. You're
going to have double-digit seeds pull upsets. We saw it time and again last year. James Madison pulled an upset last year as a 12 seed. Yale was a 13 seed and beat Auburn. So there are going to be upsets. If I'm pointing at a couple of them, be careful here with High Point out of North Carolina. You're a Carolina guy.
Oh, yeah.
High Point and Purdue. Purdue is vulnerable on defense. They've got Braden Smith from the Final Four team last year that can score, but High Point may give them tons of trouble. What is that, a 13-4 if I have my numbers right?
I don't even know. Boys can shoot.
I don't even know what I've eaten the last 3 days, what time zone I'm in or whatever, but I think that's a 13-4 matchup with High Point and Purdue. Be careful of that one. Everybody and their brother is on Colorado State against my Memphis Tigers out in Seattle. All right, let me preach to the congregation and the converted here for just a moment. The Tigers have won 20 of their last 22 games. All right, I know Colorado State got hot, but Memphis won the last 8 games, including the conference tournament.
I saw them beat USF right in front of me. I was right there on my sports.
They beat USF. And by the way, Timmy, they were out there in Fort Worth playing with no one in attendance at the Dickies Arena. It was like a morgue out in Fort Worth. But they beat UAB in the championship game. Mm-hmm. Memphis, who's beaten UConn, Michigan State, Ole Miss, Clemson out of the conference.
Damn.
Colorado State with no significant wins out of the conference. Yet my handicappers on the Bet US show that I've got to be on here in about 25 minutes, they were preaching Colorado State. This is Colorado State all the way. They're favored by 3. They're favored by 3.5. I'm going, okay, just wait.
Memphis,
just wait.
Baby.
All so right, everybody's picking Colorado State over Memphis as a 12-5. Be careful on that one. If there's a 12 that can beat a 5, I know that Michigan just won the Big Ten tournament, but be careful of UC San Diego, California, San Diego. First year that they're eligible for the NCAA tournament. This is not San Diego State. This is UC San Diego, the Tritons. They have a little size. They have good guards. That could be a dangerous game for Michigan as the 5. I know they just won the Big Ten tournament, but they played familiar teams in the Big Ten tournament. Be careful of that 12-5 as well. A little bracketing advice for the JP Peterson
Nice.
show.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. Anything else in the tournament? You got Florida to win it all?
I think Florida's a Final Four team when it's all said and done. St. John's lurking at the bottom of the bracket. My God, if they get Florida and St. John's in an Elite 8 game, that's exactly what the networks want.
Yes.
It's kind of like Duke in Newark, which is, again, New Jersey and New York are home away from home for Duke. To have them in the regional final. Alabama in the bracket with them. Who else as the 3? That's Wisconsin as the 3. That's Oregon and Arizona as the 4 and the 5. Sets up well for Duke, and Duke is good for business while we're talking about TV networks, the NCAA, the ad money. Michigan State, watch out for them in that South bracket with Auburn. Michigan State may be good there. Houston's always good in the other bracket as the 1 seed with that one. So there's a little tourney advice. Do you want to do this for like 2 or 3 minutes? And I'll put this hat on for you and talk a little BUCCANEERS.
All the hats. Love that. Yes.
I'm a man of many hats. I'm here for you. You see the hats in the background.
Once again, the Bucs bringing back their own guys, Godwin, Lavonte, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Well, look, let them.
Not a big splash, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why would you? Who was actually Colin Cowherd evidently said this over the air. What a moron.
He's an
Bucs
idiot.
are bringing back their entire offense. All 11 people. That's not going to be good. I mean, like, that was a down.
Look at the offense a year ago and say it's not going to be good to bring him
stale. He says, like, it's getting stale. It's getting tired. Yeah.
Because he obviously watched a lot of Buccaneer football.
Because continuity doesn't win.
He didn't watch 1 minute of Buccaneers football.
There we go.
Except for the Cowboys game, probably.
Well, let's say this. Culture word. CULTURE. Can I spell? I don't know. I'm jet lagged.
I think that works.
Culture. Culture of bringing back Lavonte David. Smiling ear to ear. I love it. For that man to finish his career as a Buck. And my God, he had 1,000 tackles again last year. 11 seasons with 1,000 tackles. Ageless wonder. Bring him back for that locker
tackles.
room. How about
Hassan Reddick?
I'm sorry, 100 tackles, not 1,000. My brain is
that's quite a career.
You knew what I meant.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin. All right. I don't know how much Chris has left with the injuries, but that is a culture move. This is a guy that can probably contribute some of the season. Who knows? That's a signal to the likes of Tristan Wirfs, who you already re-signed, but also Antoine Winfield, Vita Vea, all these different guys. We're going to take care of our people. Work with us. And now you bring in a Hassan Reddick, motivated. And look, I don't know what he has left, but this is the same thing as Shaq Barrett back 4 or 5 years ago. Come in on a 1-year deal and prove what you can do as a pass rusher. Same agent, by the way, Drew Rosenhaus, who I'm sure was in his ear going, Tampa Bay, let's go to Tampa Bay, because you can go there and rack up 10, 12, 14 sacks, and Jason Light will give you $40 or $50 million when you do it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know at that age because he'll be
maybe not.
Next year,
maybe not. Maybe, but you know what?
It's your best chance to rack up stats because you got Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey on the inside, Diaby on the outside, and you got the blitz packages of Todd Bowles. He's going to get great opportunities. If he can win one-on-one, hell, 40% of the time, he's gonna get.
So maybe he's not looking at 40 million guaranteed, but he might be looking at 25 million guaranteed over the next couple of years if he has a big season in Tampa Bay. Hassan Reddick, bring it on, bring it on. And by the way, they play the Eagles, his old team, coming up on the schedule, and he's going to be raring to go. Obviously, for that. And this team has retooled with the draft the last 2 or 3 years with the likes of Cade Otton, Bucky Irving, Tyke Smith, Yaya Diaby, offensive line help, like Luke Gedeke or like Cody Mauch.
Brought back.
Did Graham Barton last year. I mean, they have built through the draft. Jalen McMillan building through the draft. Zion McCullum building through the draft. I can't wait to see this team get another 2 or 3 contributors, which they probably will, out of this year's draft, and build for the future.
I love it.
Let me ask you this real quick, TJ, if you got just
gotta go.
I got a couple minutes. I got 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, real quick on Lavonte David and the sack record. He's 189 away, solo sacks. Not combined. He already holds a combined record.
Tackle record.
Solo tackles. Solo tackles. 189 away from Derek Brooks at 1,300. Lavonte's at 1,111. That's 2 full seasons for him to get there. If he's close at the end of this year, does that inspire him to come back?
Potentially. And again, he is he's in amazing shape and was last year. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy at age 34, 35. It's a young man's game. And I know where I got confused. He's got 11,000 tackles, right? Or 1,100 tackles. It's 1,100 tackles in his career.
1,111 solo tackles,
1,100, because 11,000 would be ridiculous. I get the yards and the tackles mixed up. But 1,100 tackles, I mean, that is a remarkable stat across the NFL, not just in Buccaneer land. And he was very humble saying yesterday, we know Derek Brooks is the standard, double nickel. JP, you covered him his entire career, Florida State and Tampa Bay. But, to be able to chase that record. And he's only, I believe, Lavonte, if we come to it, is only going to be behind like Rondé Barber and Dave Moore in games played. He'll pass Derek Brooks in games played as a Buccaneer. Again, culture guy. Would he come back for another year, 2026? Stay tuned if he's close to the record. I think it's a good point. But I love having that guy back in the locker room.
Absolutely.
All right, TJ, be on your way with the 17,000 jobs you have as well. Appreciate
Bet US platforms, handicapping throughout the college basketball tournament weekdays
Where
at 11 a.m. Find them on
Bet
YouTube, Bet US TV on YouTube and on podcast. I'll be on with them. Lots of NCAA tournament. I'll give you some more handicapping advice that those guys have as well.
You gave us a winner last time.
I did. I gave you 2 or 3. Stay tuned.
Kentucky, I think it was.
Yes, stay tuned. I'll give you some more handicapping advice. You have me back whenever you need me here in the tournament. I'll be at the Final Four as well. Whatever comes up with these guys, I love being on with you.
Is that in San Antonio?
San Antonio, the Riverwalk, Timmy, the Alamo. Come on down, Timmy. The Alamo, Green
I'll be there. The Alamo.
Bring it down.
I'll be there. I will be there. My niece is getting married that week.
That's right, the week before. Yeah, I think you're going to be in and around that.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
All right, Porter. Thanks, buddy.
Great to be with you.
TJ.
All right. We got to get a break in. We just gave you 45 minutes of unadulterated, fantastic entertainment.
I don't know if it was unadulterated.
Yes, fantastic entertainment. Quick break. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. We are in the Jeeves Law Group studio. It's so fabulous and warm in here this morning. JEEVESLawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So head to their website, JeevesLawGroup.com. They will give you a free case evaluation if you've been involved in an accident. It's the first call you got to make. Jeeves Law Group, JEEVESLawgroup.com. Offices in Tampa and St. Pete, always doing great philanthropic things in the area, supporting your local ventures. So support them as well. The Jeeves Law Group, not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. Back at 3. Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite. I love it. So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Great time to get that insurance checkup. All you got to do is call them, 813-877-7799, and they'll go through all your different insurances that you have, look for other companies, the dozens of companies that they represent, and see if they can save you money. They'll also look and make sure that you have enough coverage. If your policy is old and your house is increased in value, you got to make sure that you keep up with that. That's a big mistake a lot of people make, and you don't find out until you go make your claim. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured in their home insurance. So make sure you got that covered as well. They can do auto insurance, business insurance, flood insurance, all that stuff. So get an insurance checkup. Just give them a call. A human being answers the phone, and they can walk you through all of it to make sure you're covered, because we've seen it here in this area from the hurricane. So many people not properly covered, fighting with their insurance companies. That's another thing. They're not going to put you with an insurance company that doesn't pay. You know, there are certain ones that pay very easily and are easy to work with, and there are others that are not. And Italiano will be able to advise you on those. So it's a big deal. You spend a lot of money on insurance, make sure you're covered, and make sure when you're when the time comes and you need them, that it's a reputable company. So it's all the good things they can do at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799. Well, it appears, because as I'm doing this show, I get messages all the time.
Yep. It's called producing on the air.
That Colleen Wright has written an article on who wants to buy the Rays. Oh. So I have not read it, and it says there's a lot of different names in it. So I think I may have to digest it during a break, and then
on the next break. Yeah,
we'll do that. So we'll get into that as we move forward. You want to get to some of the comments here, partner?
Sure.
Let's do that. You get the music going. I'm going to shut this door because I don't like it being open.
You don't want anybody to hear what we're talking about. on Fan Stream Sports as we get into everybody's comments. Amazing comments.
We do have a great group. Are we ever gonna take calls from these yahoos? Or should we just restrict them to writing?
If I feel like they're funnier and more informative on comments.
And we can control them better.
But if you would like to do calls at some point, we can certainly set that up.
Maybe like we do it once a week.
All right.
Do you guys want that? Put it in your comments. Do you really want to call in and talk to me? Embarrass yourselves in front of the millions of people that are now watching the shows. We have gone so worldwide now. You know, I get those Google Analytics. They tell you what countries are watching.
Yep.
There's some dude in Laos, and you know who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Please get in the comments.
Yeah.
Whoever you are in Laos.
He's probably not watching live, is he?
I think there's one in like Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Some of these places I can't even pronounce.
We may have a European Fan Stream Sports coming out soon. The only problem is, as one of the higher ups in the company, I will not allow soccer to be discussed on this show, on this network, on this platform.
But we're going to do a Fan Stream Sports Europe.
So I don't know what they're going to talk about over there. It might be Saudi golf. That's fine. That's better than soccer.
I don't know. Sometimes your content instincts are not the best, Timmy. I'm just going to say that.
Soccer's for kids.
Okay,
let's address these first because Nathan Elliott comes on very quickly when the show starts. He always says hello to you. He always says hello to me. And this morning, he had some concern, JP, because Nick wasn't around. Nick's on a golf outing, correct?
Yes, and an anniversary trip.
Yeah. Wait, how did he do that? He's on an anniversary trip with the wife, and he's on a man's golf outing?
I think I think they're different outings, but they're like back to back.
Oh, okay.
So one is separate from the other.
We all need to take lessons from him if he somehow finagled that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, you running your ranch nicely.
Well done. And then Nathan has even more concern because he wants to know what happened to Peter.
I don't know. Peter just disappeared. No,
we can't say.
No, we work with Peter doing the Bucs stuff, so that's kind of what we do with him, the pre-post. So he'll be back next year. We'll be doing our post game and pre-game, and maybe doing some remotes for the Rays as well. So yeah, he's still part of the family. Absolutely,
absolutely.
Doesn't come on a weekly basis. He's got that day job that he works, so the scheduling became a bit of a conflict, but we love Peter, and he's still doing his sports web show. So you can catch him on YouTube all the time. He does his at night. I think I'm going to show. What else we got? Baseball game in the books this morning. That's right. Dodgers will be tough to beat unless they have a ton of injuries. Yeah, they won 4-1 this morning
over the Cubbies.
Yeah,
in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Why are we playing baseball games in Japan?
I don't know.
Why
we're going to start Major League Baseball in Japan.
Didn't they do this last year or something too?
Yeah,
this isn't the first time.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
You know why? Money.
I guess.
Shocking development.
Major League Baseball will never be as popular in Japan as the Japanese leagues.
Do you know? The Dodgers make, I think it's almost $200 million a year, if I read this correctly, in television rights for Japanese TV. Because
really,
of Ohtani, yeah.
How come the Angels didn't take advantage of that?
I think they did, but not to the level that the Dodgers did. And because they also have the other Japanese pitcher.
Right.
Shohei Ohtani is on every electronic bill. Have you ever been to Tokyo?
No, you will never get me inside Japanese borders ever.
I mean, every corner in Tokyo is like Times Square, like for miles and miles and miles. You know, I'm talking about the big electronic billboards.
I've seen pictures. Yeah.
That's every corner is Times Square. I mean, these billboards are just on these electronic screens, and Shohei is everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And so, like, time stops when he plays baseball, and everybody watches the entire freaking country. So they
should be here.
They monetize that, and his entire contract is deferred, like $1 billion. I don't pretend to understand the economics behind that.
No.
I really don't. But
I don't know how the players union allowed that contract, to be honest with you, because it's ridiculous.
You know what's really shocking? There were some gambling allegations about Shohei, and evidently
just went away.
his interpreter stole $6 million, and he had no idea that his interpreter took that money and gambled it.
And it all just went away.
And I know he spent every waking hour with the dude and they're best friends, but he had no idea he was gambling $6 million of his money.
Did he ever he never was punished, right?
Oh,
I know
no,
Otani wasn't, but the interpreter.
No, I think he got sentenced to like 5 years in jail.
Oh, see, I hadn't even heard that. I thought he was still interpreting.
But is he really in jail?
Yeah.
He pled guilty. He pled guilty. No trial, no discovery, no depositions, nothing. Nothing. He just kind of went away.
MLB sort of swept that under the rug, didn't they?
Yeah. And Pete Rose is still in purgatory.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah, as Pete Rose said so aptly, I should have had an interpreter. And actually, you needed one, the way you speak English.
I miss that dude.
Yeah, we're going to miss him. Rest in peace. Cody says, good morning, JP and Tim. Listening to you and my family road trip to Hilton Head, South Carolina. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Cody.
Good morning, Cody. I just read Rick's comment.
Your entire family is subject to this show.
I apologize.
We apologize to your wife first.
Yes.
And the rest of your children are learning some things they probably should not learn. But we love you, Cody.
Did you see Rick's comment?
Which one? Put it up.
The Laws fans are based on your Asian porn searches. Hey, all of the Asian porn searches in this company belong to Johnny Gerber. All right. Just throwing that over there.
Who's the one who was talking about young Asian ladies? Was it me or was it you? So the mom of the girl, evidently, that you've been dating.
Oops.
Stalking. More appropriate.
Saw her again Sunday night, JP.
Yeah, well, mom's watching in Laos. Good to know. We're getting
She
more
might have
viewers.
some Laos in her.
Because of your stalking, dating behavior. We're getting more viewers.
Right. I'm growing the show.
Whatever it takes to grow the show.
Might end up in jail over it, but I'm growing it.
Hi, Mrs. Future Mother-in-law in Laos.
Why am I so late to the Asian game with this?
I don't know. Christopher Cole says, thank goodness. April. Yeah, I guess. How did Kyle Tucker do? I didn't see the Bucs box score. Did Kyle get any hits today? He must love going to Japan.
Good Lord.
Kyle, of course, from Tampa. We played golf a few weeks ago before he left for spring training. Kyle is a homebody. He likes Tampa. He likes being at home. He doesn't like the celebrity lifestyle, any of that stuff. So going to Tokyo is probably not on his bucket list for starting the season.
Kyle Tucker went 0 for 4 this morning.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Gotta love Lonnie Wilkins says, gotta love waking up to watch the Cubs struggle. Dodgers look good. Mediocre baseball is back on the menu, boys.
Look, I don't care so much about the Cubs. I really don't. I mean, I hate everything about Chicago. But I can't stand Chicago. Wrigley Field, though, that's a bucket list item for every baseball. How can you
hate Wrigley Field?
No, I love Wrigley Field. I hate
it's in Chicago.
What? There's nothing in Chicago that's good except Wrigley Field.
Chicago's a great town. First of all, my son lives there, so my God.
Where does he live though?
In Wrigleyville area.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I got a job there.
Downtown Chicago is not.
No. I was offered a job there in about 2001 and took a trip up there for 3 weeks to get acclimated to the company, to find a place to live for my, at the time, growing family. This was wife number 2, who was pregnant at the time. And I went up there. I spent 2 weeks of my 3-week trip. I quit and I came home and said, I'm never coming back here ever again.
Wow.
I couldn't stand it.
I can imagine why you're not a big fan. For sure.
Plus, my wife cut all her hair off while I was gone and didn't tell me, and I showed up. I didn't know who she was, and that pissed me off, too.
Oh, my God. All right. Here's an interesting question from Cody. JP, are the Rays renewing their lease at the Trop till 2038? Great question, Cody. And I could probably stay on the air until you reach South Carolina and talk about this, but I won't. The answer is no. That harebrained idea ain't never happening. Like that is next to the Montreal St. Pete split city idea, this was the dumbest shit I've ever heard come out of the Rays' mouth. I shouldn't say that. There's so many. The Montreal playoff banner is definitely in the top 5 as well. But no, so what he's referring to is the Rays floated this idea, and I don't even know why they floated it after so last week, and everything they do, by the way, is, it didn't just get out by mistake. They float these ideas, they throw it through the Times, they call Topkin or Romano and say, hey, here's a story for you. Let's get this out. And it's, I'm not saying that there's something nefarious going on there. It's like, oh, here's the story. We were thinking about this. And so they get it out there. And this one was, we'll pay $200 million. The city can pay $200 million. The county can pay $200 million. We'll like mega renovate the Trop, like mega renovate it, like turn it into something totally different with patios and premium seating and all kinds of other places around there. Problem is, it's in the same spot. And the problem is, it still has the obsolete bones that it's always had. It's a terrible stadium. You cannot put any more lipstick on that pig. Even $600 million worth of lipstick ain't going to help that pig. But this is what they float around. And they promised the city, hey, we'll stay for 10 more years. 10 more years, that's what we get. And obviously they can't redevelop the Trop site while we're doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Which is what they really want to do, like what most people in Pinellas want to do. And now that the mayor realizes that he can't work with you because you're dishonest and you cannot negotiate with this guy. Clearly, we've realized that. Everyone's realized this by now. So now they won't work with you. They don't even want to repair the Trop for you, which they contractually have to do. So where that's going on December 27th, I don't know. Or March 27th, they have that. And by the way, they're going to have to pay $6 to $7 million a year just for the insurance on a new roof if they put a new roof on Tropicana Field. And good luck finding an engineering firm that's going to be able to guarantee that a hurricane with 150 mile an hour sustained winds coming through, you're going to have a fabric roof. I mean, that never made sense to me from the very beginning. I'm shocked it lasted that long, to be quite honest with you. So to build another one seems like the dumbest shit ever.
Well, and then you got to find an insurance company that will insure it. I can't imagine somebody's just going to jump into that policy.
Well, they found one, and they're going to charge you $7 million a year to do it.
That almost seems cheap.
Yeah, it really does. Like, because it's anyway. So I don't think they're going to renovate the Trop. They're certainly not going to be in that lease. It's just floating that idea. Like, did you really think people were going to jump on that? Like this? Why would the city do that? It's none of the people want it. It's too expensive for only 10 years. That's a joke. And why would the county want to spend that kind of money? No, it's ridiculous. It only benefits Stu and the Rays. That's that doesn't benefit the fans because the fans want a new stadium. It's like I said, we can do better. Don't let them think. It lets you think. And I think Rays fans have kind of been conditioned to this. It's just, if you just stay, I don't care how much it costs. Just stay. If it's going to be in St. Pete, just like you settle for this crap. No, we deserve better. We're the 11th largest market with the 15th largest market 60 miles away in Orlando, 70 miles away in Orlando. They're not leaving this market, and they're not going to Orlando, by the way. Just please stop with that. They're not leaving this market. Major League Baseball knows that they have to be in this market with they're going to be negotiating all their new streaming and television rights on an international and national basis. They're not going to lose the 11th and 15th largest TV markets, and they're not going to move to Orlando because that just doesn't work in so many ways. We're not even going to get into it. So they're staying here, and it deserves to be in a place where 80% of the market can get to it, not 20% like in Pinellas. So, yes, this all makes perfect sense. And with deep-pocketed owners, which there are now stepping up to the plate, it's just a matter of time before Major League Baseball highly encourages Stu to get this done, in my opinion. And I know Stu is going to go kicking and screaming, but eventually he's going to realize he has no other options. Take your $1 billion-plus profit and move on down. Get your luxury box at Citi Field for the Mets and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
And then we get people who really care about Tampa Bay to build a stadium in Tampa, accessible to everyone, state-of-the-art, entertainment complex, everything we so richly deserve, goddammit.
And enjoy baseball in Tampa for the next 30-plus years.
That's right. I fixed it again, Timmy. I fixed it again.
Just like tarp roof. Drone tarp. There it was
Tarp.
called.
Brilliant, another brilliant idea. We actually on the Tampa Developer Podcast with my friend Garrett Greco. He's got this cool podcast studio. We got to do this, and we got everything in here to do it. He's got the big screen, and then the producer put up all these maps all around Tampa. So we're going bopping around Tampa, like where it could be and all the possibilities of where it could be. And then I told him about this idea. I don't know if we may have talked about this on the show. Back in the 70s, they had designed at Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead Stadium of a sliding roof.
Yeah, to go over
both
stadium.
stadiums. There's actually artist renderings of this, and we popped it up, and it looks really cool.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's definitely doable. I mean, it's not an engineering feat that could not be done.
It's more doable now than it was in the 70s when they built Arrowhead and Kauffman. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And you can put them closer together. So there's infinite amount of possibilities. And when you start talking about it, it gets really, really fun and cool.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, is it going to happen? I don't know. I think so. There's a lot of people with a lot of big money that want to invest, and where better to invest in an entertainment complex and baseball and football and everything else than Tampa Bay. And that Ray J site would be perfect for that. You could put side-by-side stadiums. That'd be fine.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah. And
you could retrofit a roof over Ray J in that scenario.
Right.
It's
That's
already
my point.
there.
Yeah.
You build the baseball stadium where the old sombrero used to be, and that vacant lot that's still there. I know they use it for parking, but it's still
there's plenty of parking around there.
Yeah. And you just put the roof to go over either one, and it's
pretty simple.
Problem solved.
Really simple. I'll draw it on a napkin if somebody needs me to do that. It's easy.
It's got to be a bev nap for me to understand.
Exactly, and that's what people understand. I'll do that in the break. My bev nap artistry over the years.
Oh, it's been great.
I invented Top Golf on a bev nap many years ago. I think it was in Atlanta airport. Yeah, absolutely.
I drew out the original business plan for DSP Media on a bev nap in 2017, and I still have that bev nap. That's actually, it's like 4.
The new one's better though.
It is.
My bev nap's better.
It is.
Daniel Rivera said, I just saw a ridiculous video on whether the Rays should play at RJS. That's not happening for multiple reasons. Glazers won't go for it. It'd be a waste of money. 81 games wouldn't work. Yeah, I think we're done with retrofitting football stadiums for baseball. We can do, like I said, we can do better than that. We can do better. Build a baseball amphitheater type stadium right next to it. Get your sliding roof what an iconic thing that would be. And you could see that coming in from the airport. Be like, look at that thing over there. That's cool. We got to go to that thing. And it's 365, 24/7. It's not just football games. And just, Super Bowls, national championship game coming in 2029. Yeah, we got all that stuff cooking, baby.
So here's an interesting tidbit. I don't know if you saw this or not, JP, but this kind of is applicable in Tampa right now. Did you see that the Minnesota Vikings have just paid off their debt on US Bank Stadium?
No, I did not.
23 years early, they paid off their loan from the city to US Bank Stadium. So that means 2 things. Number one, they have saved the Minnesota taxpayers $226 million in interest.
Wow.
But what this also means is because they're not sharing ownership anymore with whoever it was, the county or the city or the state, whoever gave them the money. That means the owners of the Vikings, for every single event that ever gets held in the stadium from this point forward, all of the money goes to him.
Smart. Super smart.
Yes, look, it can be done. 23 years early, they paid off their debt.
I was watching an Orlando local sportscast this past weekend, and I guess the guy that owns the Orlando MLS team and the Orlando in the women's team, the Pride, in Orlando City, also owns the Minnesota Vikings. Wilf, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So they asked,
Wilf. Yeah.
So they asked him about possibly baseball coming to Orlando and if he would be interested in ownership. And he basically said, I'm good. I got the Vikings. It basically said, can we support my soccer teams better? Because the women don't draw at all. And the MLS team, like, they don't support their own teams now, but yet they're going to get a baseball team. He was like, And it's funny because the guy that was doing the sportscast, I didn't recognize him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he like teased this like big story. Wait till you hear this from the owner of the Pride and I'm like, okay, you got me. I'll stick around. So then he plays the spot and the owner's going, yeah, it sounds great, but we're really busy over here and we're got the Vikings and the
I don't got time
soccer.
for that.
Good luck with that.
I just paid off my stadium 23 years early. I don't want to build another one.
I'm like, that's your story. That's the baseball team. That's the huge endorsement from the owner of our other teams about baseball. It's basically like, yeah, no, thank you. We don't need it. Like, how about we support my teams first before we do baseball?
Hysterical.
And I know Bianchi's writing columns over there, and I'm like, dude, call me. You're getting played. The stripper doesn't love you. She doesn't love you.
Of course,
that's just Stu snuggling up, whispering in your ear. It's not real. He's just trying to drive up the price in Tampa. Don't take the bait. Put your money away and walk out the door. You don't. She doesn't love you.
Just don't even go to that ATM machine.
Don't go.
They charge you $50 to take out 100.
Don't do it.
By the way, can I get those in singles?
Yeah. But it's so funny. It's like an area like Orlando. They want to be big league, right? They want to be big league. They don't want to be some Mickey Mouse city. And I don't want to be disrespectful for Orlando. It's a beautiful place. But
is it?
Stay in your lane. Theme parks, water parks, wax museums.
There you go.
Crappy
travel
stadiums.
hub. I mean, it's a great place to fly into if you want to go somewhere else in the area.
Oh, wait, dude, that airport's gross and so bad.
I don't mean it's nice. It's just centrally located.
Okay. You got that going for you. It's
they are in the middle of the state.
Security's like getting through security at MCO is awful compared to Tampa. I will literally drive the extra 45 minutes to fly out of Tampa.
Really? Yeah.
If I have a choice, I will drive the extra. Yes. Because you're going to save that just in security line alone. Go TSA. That'll help too. But just everything. It's so much easier in Tampa. Now, Orlando's getting better. They built a new terminal. They got the Bright Line train that goes out of there. So, which will soon be coming to Tampa, hopefully, for God's sakes. At what point we need to get that done? But
the Japanese bullet train.
Yeah. Well, Hagan said the other day that once they decide who gets to stop, Universal or Disney. So I guess that's the big political thing that's going on there now. Once they decide that, then they're going to get it done. So can we get it done? They've been
teasing a bullet train between Dallas and Houston for, I swear, 50 years.
Oh, and you know why it doesn't happen? Because of the oil companies. That's the last thing they want. Yeah. I told you that story. My dad was a part of the original design company at Walt Disney World. For those of you who haven't heard this story, they were constructed after they opened Disney World. The governor said, give me a plan to do monorails, connect every major city in Florida, right up the turnpike, down 75, 275, like to Orlando, Tampa, down the coast, Fort Myers, across Alligator Alley to Miami, up the East Coast, up the turnpike. And they designed the whole thing monorail, and they gave it to the legislature to vote on, and the oil companies killed it. Because they want cars and they want roads and they want people buying gas.
I mean, now that electric cars are kind of all the rage, maybe that would be different.
Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't that be? It would be awesome if we had that. We got a couple new posters in here, so let's give them some love. Douglas Batista, California. Maybe I might have seen you in here. JP sent you a message earlier today. I wanted to say thanks for your excellent coverage reporting of the Rays situation. You're giving hope to Rays fans like me and my son that the Rays will stay in Tampa Bay. They ain't. I won't say it.
They ain't effing leaving.
I don't think they're leaving. I don't think they're leaving.
Oh, Liam Cohen.
They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Liam, by the way, I do have to thank Liam Cohen for providing that moment for us.
I hate you, Liam Cohen. He came back like
and Peter Schrager.
Yeah, he came back like momentarily. He did.
He did. We did a whole show on it, and then literally 12 hours later, he was gone.
He was gone. He was gone. Hopefully we'll get the real story on that someday. I'm free to come on the show, says James Flash Ludeman. What are you bringing on This show? Are you covering
I don't know.
Bama?
Is this when we were taking calls?
He wants to go. Yeah,
I
come
guess.
on, brother.
Maybe.
We've had him on the show before. I think he's covering Alabama now. JP, you and Tim are the best. I agree with Tim. No soccer. We don't talk a lot of soccer. Let's just be honest.
You do that on Mondays when Nick's here.
Yeah, exactly. I listen to the stuff Peter does at night when I'm driving a forklift. Oh, cool.
Good deal.
Yeah. I don't know if I want you driving a forklift and listening to Peter, though. I don't know if I want that.
Oops. Depends on what you're carrying around.
Yeah, Lonnie says secondary race tickets are super cheap. I paid $250 for 3 tickets, and now I see them for the same night against Pittsburgh for $15 each. I'm a damn fool. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of people making a lot of hay about the fact that the opener's not sold out yet. Well, because the tickets that are left are $300.
Right.
And so what the Rays are trying to do is trying to soak as many people as they possibly can. And as we get closer to the day, the tickets are going to come way down and people will buy them and it'll be sold out. I'm not worried about that. All right, let's take another break. When we come back, I think we've got some Florida State information that we may be bringing you here as their pro day is coming up. Emily Peters is in the studio. She covers Florida State, so we'll chat with her. I believe we had a question about A.Z. Thomas coming to the Bucs. So we will talk about his possible we need it. We don't have a Seminole. We don't have a single Seminole on the Bucs roster. What the hell's going on here?
What's happening in the world? And look, they're good.
Yeah. They were.
Oops.
Some of them are good.
No, I meant the Bucs are good without a Florida State on the roster.
Shut up. We're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source. They have the brand new men's section. They've grown it for all you guys. So if you're looking for a gold chain, that's all in right now, or something silver and sparkly like this, like my cross, or you want a bracelet, a ring, they've got an incredible men's selection. It's just not for the ladies at the Golden Diamond Source. So go in there, find something masculine and wear it confidently. That's what you can do, guys, at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Back in 3. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Hey guys, February's birthstone is amethyst, a stunning purple gem that symbolizes peace, protection, tranquility, and sincerity. Celebrate her birthday or your 6th and 17th wedding anniversaries with an unforgettable amethyst gift. And of course, for over 40 years, the Golden Diamond Source has been Tampa Bay's most trusted name in fine jewelry. We only sell natural diamonds. If it's real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't get a fake. The Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program will help you learn about the 4 C's, what style, shape, and color works best for you and your unique style. Folks, it's the best customer service. They make it so easy for you, and they're not going to push you into something that you cannot afford. 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Also, you can turn your old unused gold into cash or a stunning new piece. With gold prices soaring, there's no better time to trade up. So get that old jewelry and bring it on in. You know where, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this Tuesday. It is Tuesday, isn't it?
Definitely Tuesday.
I'm discombobulated.
Rick will do that to you.
Right, great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you have any AC or plumbing needs, they can help you out. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Been in business since 1995. Just about anything around the house they can do. So if your air conditioner goes on the fritz, or you're looking actually for a little tune-up, summer is coming, it's a great idea. They can do that for you. So go to ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Get an appointment right there. Read all the 5-star reviews. And as we always say, our good friend John Rodriguez, the owner over there, if anything goes wrong, they will make it right. And that's what you want in an AC company or a plumbing company. None of this shenanigans going on. Great folks over there. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. All right. So I wanted to get into this because, you know, we do things on the fly here, my friend.
Producing on the air.
Yeah. So Colleen Wright wrote an article. Says groups of unnamed investors have expressed interest in owning St. Pete's major league team. Well, welcome to the party. We've been reporting on this for quite some time, and the Times just kind of ignored it, to be quite honest. I mean, even when Ken Rosenthal reported it in January, then Jeff Passan of ESPN reported it, then Evan Drellich. So the biggest names in reporting have been talking about this for quite some time, but the Times has not really admitted it because Stu told the Times that they were not for sale.
And they believed him.
I don't know if they believed him, but they printed it. But you print what they say.
That's right. Print the quotes.
That's right. They say at least 4 interested parties who say they have means to buy the Tampa Bay Rays have come forward as pressure builds among elected officials and fans for Stu Sternberg to sell the team. I will say this. The pressure has never been higher on Stu Sternberg. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. We've been talking about this for quite some time, obviously, for, ever since the whole debacle in Hillsborough County. And when we told you what went down there and everybody blamed Hillsborough County, everybody blamed the business community. And I told you those are both lies. And now we understand that this is how the Rays do business. They did the same thing to St. Pete this time around. There's been a DeBartolo name drop. It's unclear if anyone from the family of Tampa Bay sports magnates and developers are backing a group. I've heard his name. I have not confirmed his name. I've told you that, guys. In many circles, I had somebody yesterday who's pretty knowledgeable of the situation said Ed DeBartolo is not involved. Now, his kids may be involved in some way, but I'm unsure of the DeBartolo situation.
So we reported that over at all49ers.com too with Athlon Sports last week, I think. And it was actually that Eddie was involved in the potential ownership.
Yeah, the Athletic article mentioned him. Yeah. Said he was involved. So they reported that.
They probably stole it from us.
Said even Governor Ron DeSantis recently commented on a possible sale, though he said that he's speculated for a while. I know for a fact that Ron DeSantis is up to speed on at least one of the groups. And I think the group favored by Major League Baseball, the one I've been talking about, the quote unnamed group. DeSantis is aware of them and aware of their plans to build in Tampa and supports it from what I've been told. Not that he's throwing money at it. Sports news site The Athletic reported earlier this month. I haven't even read this article. Chances that they mentioned me? 0.
Right. Not today.
Sports news site The Athletic reported earlier this month that Sternberg is under pressure to sell from Major League Baseball, though he has not said the team is for sale. Rays president Matt Silverman told DAE Radio last week it puts no stock in reports based on anonymous sources. The team's not for sale. That's different than saying Sternberg would never sell if offered the right price. Colleen writes, of these publicly jockeying for ownership, most have stated interest in keeping the Rays in Tampa Bay, but at least one group is courting the team from afar. Here are some of the names of suitors getting tossed about now. those declared and others not. But beware, if the Rays are indeed for sale, it would be Sternberg's interest to have competition for at least the properties, the perception of it. Of course, the team has used that playbook before in pushing for would-be stadium sites. Another warning, wealthy investors turned sports franchise rarely divulge their intentions publicly in advance. That is true. We told you that. That's why this unnamed group that's favored by Major League Baseball is continued to be unnamed. And I will not be giving up those names until I'm allowed to do so.
Yeah.
Sternberg's name first appeared in the pages of the Times only after he had purchased a large share in the Rays. That's true. The people who are serious bidders are talking to a handful of bankers, a small number of New York-based law firms, and some people at the league, said Robert Boland, a New York-based sports attorney who has represented groups seeking to buy professional sports teams. But for serious contenders who might have challenges getting approved, that might be a reason to go public in that circumstance. Yeah, is exactly what we told you last week. The guys that are going public are, I can tell you right now, they feel like they're not getting their due. They want to get in front of Sternberg and the commissioner and everybody and they've tried to do it through back channels, but have not been as successful as they want. They've gotten to talk to Matt. They've gotten to talk to people, but no one in a formal setting. They haven't been able to get into what they call the data room. The data room is when you sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and you get in there and you get to actually look at the books. And obviously, they do not let just any schmo. And not saying that these people are schmoes. that didn't come out right. But Major League Baseball is gonna make sure you're formally vetted before they're gonna allow you into the data room. Right. So, and of course, you're not gonna make the purchase unless you see the numbers.
Right.
So she brings up one of the groups, Joe Malloy, that we've talked about. And I texted with Joe. He was going to come on this week, but he said he's got some family issues this week, so he's going to have to push. So, but he is, he's talked to the Times. He's come forward. He said when former New York Yankees managing general partner Joe Malloy spoke with Sternberg a couple of weeks ago, they didn't discuss a sale price, he told the Times. Malloy also said the Tampa Bay educator and CEO of Jam Sports Venture says he's backed by an undisclosed number of local investors. Now, he's been linked to the DeBartolo group. I'm not sure about that. I'm not reporting that, but other people have. Malloy declined to say how many people are in the group or what their backgrounds are because those investors are under a non-disclosure agreement. There you go. Malloy told the Times most are local to Tampa Bay with the exception of 2 investors from the Orlando area. His group was interested in pursuing the planned downtown St. Pete Stadium deal that Sternberg had said is now unworkable. So I told you that when Malloy came forward and the Times did the big article, we're going to keep it here. We're going to do the St. Pete deal. I said, that's not happening. And that's why Major League Baseball doesn't favor the Malloy group because they had said they wanted to do that St. Pete deal. Major League Baseball does not want the stadium in St. Pete. She continues. Last week, The Athletic reported that the DeBartolo family is involved with Malloy's effort, though it didn't cite its sourcing. Eddie DeBartolo Jr., who owned the NFL 49ers for 23 years before ceding control to his sister, declined to comment through an assistant. His half-brother, Ed Coble, is the president and chief operating officer of DeBartolo Development. I thought that was his son-in-law. I could be wrong. Asked if the Athletic's reporting was incorrect, Coble wouldn't say. We're not talking about it. We've had a lot of people talk to us. We're listening. No action. So, all right. Malloy, who once described his life to a reporter as a Cinderella in reverse, was formerly married into the family of late Yankees owner George Steinbrenner and briefly ran the team. With Coble, the group would have ties to 2 of the biggest sports families in Tampa Bay. All right, so blah, 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 blah. Let me see what else goes there. Carter McCain, who, of course, announced his seeking of the Rays on this show. A day after Malloy announced his group interest with the team, Tampa lawyer Carter McClain stepped forward to say he represents a group of interested buyers, mainly from out of state. Is this the part where they put the J.P. Peterson show in there? Oh, no.
Good guess, no.
Yeah. Like Malloy, McCain declined to name any members, but said the group is led by an out-of-market investor, well-respected in Major League Baseball circles. Minority of local business leaders are involved as well. Exactly what we told you. And I know who that person is, but again, they don't want that name out there, and I'm not going to divulge it either. But it's a name you all know, Major League Baseball circles. McCain graduated from Stetson Law, has been a practicing attorney in Tampa Bay since the 1980s. He said he's worked with athletes and sport teams throughout his career. His group is interested in building an entertainment complex. Great. All this stuff we've already told you. He told us on the air. Dan Doyle. This isn't the first time Dan Doyle Jr., CEO of Tampa-based office equipment Dex Imaging, has been floated as a potential Rays suitor. In 2023, The Athletic reported that Doyle was interested in buying the franchise. Doyle and a group of other investors, including Memphis hedge fund former founder Tripp Miller, offered $1.85 billion for the team. Forbes also reported that pitch fell through. Yeah, we've reported that as well. So $1.85 billion seems to be, and Stu said no, which is interesting. Now Doyle has joined forces with another group interested in inking a Rays Stadium deal in Tampa. According to The Athletic, efforts to reach Doyle were unsuccessful. It is my understanding that Dan Doyle is involved with one of these groups. I don't know which one, and I don't know at what level, but I do believe he's involved with one of these groups. His father, Dan Doyle Sr., began building the family office equipment empire in the 70s. Sr. was one of the original general partners of the Rays back in 1998. Sternberg bought him and several other local attorneys out, or local owners out in 2004. Dan Doyle Jr.'s company is a major sponsor of the Rays. Yes, they are. He's also the owner of the Pelican, the golf course where the LPGA event is held, and was very prominent out there and supports LPGA golf. So very much a sportsman, Dan Doyle Jr. Great dude. Orlando Dreamers. I'm not even going to talk about them. That's just not a thing. All right. So nothing, certainly nothing new in this article, all the stuff that we've rehashed. So nothing new. And just to update where we're at, I still believe that this unnamed group is the one that has the inside track. These other two groups are trying to get their hooks in it as well. I'm not saying they're out of it. I don't think they're out of it in any way. It's just, and I do think, and I think this might, again, this is what I think, this is what I know, educated guess, and what I've been told. So Major League Baseball has done this in the past and is very adept at doing this, taking investors from one group and putting them together with investors in another group. So they could be, Major League Baseball could be kind of sifting through everybody, doing their due diligence and kind of like, okay, this may be the all-star group that we think can really get this done on the Tampa side and get a stadium done over there. So all of this is very much in flux, but we go back to the same thing. We've never had this situation. Stu has no options in Tampa. Hillsborough County does not want to work with him. Ken Hagan, not interested. Burned once, not interested. Ken Welch, St. Pete City Mayor, Pinellas County, not interested in working with the Rays in any capacity. These are all stated, and why would they at this point? So he's got no, and Major League Baseball obviously knows all this. Manfred has been down here. He's got the lay of the land. He now understands it perfectly. He understands that Stu's not getting this done. So Major League Baseball very much interested in getting Stu to sell. What is their hammer? Their hammer is revenue sharing money, and other commissioner's discretionary allotments of money that he can do. The new CBA is coming up. They want to get control of that money even more. So they have leverage to highly encourage, I don't want to say force a sale, highly encourage Stu Sternberg to sell the team. So, and Major League Baseball is not leaving this market. They now have these deep-pocketed investors coming forward. Obviously, Major League Baseball, the other owners are interested in getting Tampa done because then they can expand to the other markets and get the expansion fees, which could total up to $4.4 billion. That expansion fee for a new team is going to be probably $2.2 billion. So all the owners divvy that up, 1/30 a piece. So that's where we're at. If you follow the money, which we've always said, that is the number one codicil on this show. When you're trying to figure stuff out, follow the money. All the future money and revenues are in Tampa. Places to build in Tampa. Better infrastructure, not as much public money, but if you have deep-pocketed owners that are going to finance the stadium and get more control of the stadium and the development around it, and you're getting cheap land from the county, the state, or a developer who's part of your group, Ybor City, Darryl Shaw, bring all of this together and you have a winning hand. He has no cards left. Like the little comedian from Ukraine, you got no cards, bro. You got no cards left. You don't. This is your only chance here is to sell your team at an exorbitant profit that you are going to be able to go back to New York and tell everybody you just fleeced the city of St. Pete for $1.7 billion, $1.8 billion, whatever you're going to get for the team that you invested, $200 million to buy. Good for you.
Take the money and run.
Congratulations. You win. Seriously. Did a great job putting a winner on the field. Stu Sternberg did a great job with that. He's going to walk with, $1.5 billion profit, more than that, because he's made a ton of money on this team over the years with low payrolls and getting all the revenue sharing money. He's done really, really well. It's time for him to go and for others to take the mantle, take the torch, bring it to Tampa, and let's go. Let's do this the right way finally. So that's where we're at. Is that good?
Seems good to me.
All right.
Even though you're still not getting credit.
They love me over there, don't they?
It is what it is.
No, I think Topkin mentioned me in an article last week.
Yeah.
He did. So we give him credit for that, right?
I guess.
I don't think Colleen likes me.
So petty.
I'm
so petty in the media.
And I've said nothing but good things about her.
I
think she's done a tremendous job with this story. I think she's been the most even-handed reporter they've had over there as far as this story goes. I think she's reported it tremendously well. I've given her great kudos, but yet she just ignores me. I feel slighted. Maybe I should invite her on the show.
Do it.
All right. I'll send her a message and see if she'll come on the show.
She can have 20 minutes.
She'll be like, what show?
Who are you again? JT? Do I know a JT Peterson?
Yes, that's all good. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll come back. Emily's here, going to talk about Florida State. She covers the Seminole baseball team and the football team. So we have some questions about Azariah Thomas, AZ Thomas. Is he a good fit for the Bucs in the draft? We'll see. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. If you've not been out for a great traditional Italian meal in quite some time, get a reservation on Open Table at Cafe Paradiso. Go see my good friend Paolo Tini over there. Have a glass of wine with Paolo. Have the lasagna, the branzino, the sausage farfalle, the farfalle salsiccia. Did I say that right? I love it. It's my favorite. So head on over there at South McDill and get a reservation. You will absolutely love it. Back in 3. Stay with it. Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Tuesday. Bolts get a big win last night, 2-0. Now just 2 points behind the stinking Panthers for first place in the Atlantic. They got a road trip coming up, heading out to Tim's place, heading out to Dallas to meet Nico Rantanen and the wonderful Stars.
The big hanger in downtown Dallas is what we call it.
So we're gonna have to have a little wager on that game on Thursday. Although although the Stars have been sucking, but the Lightning have.
I mean, the Lightning have too.
Yeah. So
We'll talk about it tomorrow after the
Not gonna
Stars
be
and the Ducks go tonight. We'll see what happens.
Okay. The great Pete Fairbanks once said, "It's not a specific suck; it's an all-encompassing type of suck."
It's the greatest sports quote ever.
So good. So good. All right, welcome into the show. You guys can jump in and comment on YouTube, also on our X channel at the JP Peterson Show, and on my Facebook as well, JP Peterson. So jump in there. We always have some great comments, like Rick commenting today. They will have JP show urinal cakes in the new stadium.
I wish we could afford urinal cakes in the new stadium. Those are not cheap.
People can whiz right on my face. There's a lot of
Some
people
of us already have.
Times will love to do that. I can tell you that.
Just put them in the Times building.
Richie P says, just speculation here. A lot of connections to some New York folks. Is there a chance Derek Jeter gets involved somehow? Dex Imaging was involved with the Marlins when he was there. Then DJ stepped down. Somebody asked me the other day about if I had heard a player was involved. And I've heard A-Rod's name involved. And I would not be surprised if Jeter was involved. Jeter used to live in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeter used to live here. And I've floated his name many, many years ago as leading an ownership group here locally that would, with DeBartolo, he knows the DeBartolos. He knows all the players here in Tampa very well, by the way.
And it's my understanding that him with the Marlins, that whole situation, that wasn't him being disgruntled with the front office necessarily and sports ownership in general. It was the Marlins situation he was frustrated with and had to get out of that.
Yeah, and Richie also says, ironically, Derek Jeter stepped down when things started getting hot with Stu. With that, yeah. So is Doyle and Jeter involved? Yeah, they know each other. I know that. Mm-hmm. So he knows all the big hitters in, plays at the Pelican, Old Memorial, all those places, Palmacia. I know where all these people are playing golf. And you know where they're playing golf? You know what they're talking about? Big money stuff, buying teams.
And don't forget A-Rod.
And how bad they putt.
A-Rod was at the St. Pete Grand Prix as one of the grand marshals of the race representing the city of Tampa.
I did not know that. Interesting. So he's back. He's back in town. Whoever bought his mansion was going to, mow it down.
Good.
What? That's a beautiful home. It would crush me.
He lived in it. It needs to be burned to the ground.
Shut up.
I don't wish A-Rod on anybody ever in any capacity.
What? I am gonna yeah, I want no part of A-Rod. No. But he's been in Tampa a lot when he was training for the Yankees, but he's never lived here. Derek lived here for a long time.
Yeah.
On Davis Islands. My neighbor. He was my neighbor for many years. He was on the rich side.
I love Jeter, even though he was a Yankee.
Yeah, no, he's a great dude, and he would be a great representative for the area because, like I said, he lived here for a very long time. I always thought he'd be perfect for it. I would love for him to, and he knows obviously good friends with Tino Martinez and Fred McGriff and Wade Boggs and all what I call baseball royalty here. Gary Sheffield. I mean, so many of them that all live here, grew up here. And we're going to trot them all out. When the whole Tampa thing gets going, you're going to see them all. And I think they'll all be part of it. Matt Joyce, we've talked about him. Former all-star from the Rays. So, yeah. All right. There was a question early on that I'm going to bring in my Florida State expert. Emily Peters here is with us. She covers FSU. Do we have the,
I'm working.
There we go.
Let me mess with it. Hang on. Let me.
Yeah, it's a very not great shot. It's kind of fuzzy. I don't know why that is. Maybe it'll
probably get better.
Hello, Emily. Say hello to everybody up there. There you are. Yeah, it'll get better, he says. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on. You've been covering Florida State sports for how long? Long time.
Gosh, I think about 7 years.
7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years maybe officially.
So you would agree with me. The snub of Florida State was the worst snub, the biggest in the history of college football and the United States of America.
When you said United States, I agree.
There you go. That's how you get a shot on the show.
I feel like you're leading the witness.
I'm exactly
I
leading
object.
the agree with the host and you get airtime. That's how this works. Be in the room. Yes, that's how this works. It's not hard, folks. It's really not hard. But one of our lovely commenters asked about, I can't find it, but asked about Azariah Thomas, the fine cornerback from Florida State. I mean, nobody played well last year. Let's just put that out there. What can you tell me about AZ Thomas?
Well, as far as him being a good fit with the Bucs, I don't know that I'm an expert to call that, but I can tell you a lot of NFL teams are looking for help in the secondary this year, specifically at that cornerback role. And I think AZ has all the physical attributes. We looked it up. He's 6'2", 198. He's also one of the youngest in the draft.
Yeah.
So that makes him.
We like those bigger, longer corners. Bulls love those guys.
Young, very, very great character. I was listening to your conversation earlier in the show about the kind of guys that you want in the Buccaneers locker room. And
you could tell us about that because you've been around him, talked to him. How is he regarded as a character guy?
Well, you talk about mental toughness. I don't know that there's a guy more mental tough. A lot of tribute goes to, of course, Norvell's tour of duty that they go through in the spring. But mental tough, you got to be tough to get through that Florida State season.
Yeah, you
obviously. Did. But great kid. Just really can't say enough about him. He's also a Florida guy. So he went to Niceville High School.
Oh, he went to Niceville. Okay.
So you're keeping this kid in Florida. So clearly he is familiar with this area. I think that is kind of a bright spot if they bring him down to Tampa. Just can't say enough about him and what he could do. I will say pro day coming up at Florida State, a big thing for him will be that 40 because he told the media when he spoke to them at the combine that he was going to do everything. Didn't run the 40 though.
Didn't run the 40 in Indianapolis.
He needs to.
Did he get hurt or something? Did he tweak something?
Not officially, not something that was
just didn't
reported,
feel it.
So I don't know. Maybe he kind of was warming up, felt something a little weird, didn't want to risk
it. Happens.
So, but yeah, that's going to be key.
Because when you run a bad time, you can't get it back.
No.
You can't get it back. And I know they don't. They want you to run. They want you to do everything. So that's probably not the greatest thing. But if you run a bad time, that's even worse. So we'll see. And so the pro day is coming up Friday at Florida State, right?
Yep. I think it starts at about 9 a.m. I'll be there at 7 a.m. covering it.
All right. And we'll get you on the show Friday and tell us what happened.
Yeah, definitely. It'll air on the ACC network. And it'll be a fun time. Not too many guys this year, but we've got a little.
I was going to say who else is even draftable? Josh Farmer.
Josh Farmer. Yep. Also a Tallahassee local-ish guy. He went to Gadsden County High School. That defensive lineman group this year is pretty good, but I think if he can do the bench press and maybe get a few more reps, he did 26 at the combine. If he can get a little closer to 30,
not terrible, but not great.
I think he could help himself by showing that strength. There's been a little bit of chatter of him joining Verse and Fisk with the Rams. I don't know if they necessarily need it, but that'd be a pretty cool thing just as a Florida State fan, obviously. But yeah, he'll work his way. I think he's projected around the 40s, 50s ish overall pick right now. So those are kind of the big two, though. There's not a whole lot of others.
I heard the quarterback might be working out.
He will be working out.
Who's that?
DJU. He will be working out at Pro Day.
Well, he is a prototypical pro quarterback. You know, he's big, he's tall, got a big arm.
Yep.
Has he gotten out of the wheelchair yet?
You got to wonder why all those attributes haven't.
I mean, I don't remember. That's one thing I did about Florida State. I never remember him being that slow when he was at Clemson. Like, I didn't see him play much Washington. He got old. Got old. Here, the knees are a little rickety here, 27 years old. So, yeah, he's going to be working out for the month.
He will be working out.
The XFL is calling.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is it? The UFL now? The UFL now?
UFL.
I don't even know if he'll make it that far.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
Going to be competing with Trey Lance for a spot somewhere.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. All right, so what about FSU baseball? 17-1.
That's a bright spot. 17-1.
Wow.
FSU baseball. We won't talk about that one loss. We can pretend like it's not.
How do we lose? Well, we kicked their ass last year. We're talking about the Gator baseball team, but they got us this year.
They did get us. It was kind of the first big test, and it was at home as well. So our next two games are in Jacksonville and in Gainesville. So to take one or even the series, it's going to be tough. But I think
so. We play them two more times. Once in Jacksonville. Oh, that's cool.
A week from today, actually, it's the Jacksonville game
at the Jumbo Shrimp Park.
At the Jumbo Shrimp.
Oh, cool. That would be fun.
Yeah,
that would be really fun to go see.
Yeah, take a little road trip up.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they're going to play in Gainesville.
And then they'll play.
All right, so we could still win the series.
We can still win the series, but it's tougher because you dropped the one at home. And that's the one that they run ruled last year.
Ugh.
So, and Hauser was packed. It was sold out. So, all the little
disappointing
factors were there, but unfortunately, no. But we just swept our first ACC series against Boston College. Looked really, really good. Run ruled the first one of Saturday's doubleheader. That starting rotation's really good. They didn't get
tell me about the starting rotation, all from Tampa Jesuit.
All from Tampa Jesuit. So all you local people will like to hear that. And they are absolutely gross out there. It's insane. Like I said, no earned runs this weekend. I think it was 6 walks, 35 strikeouts as a pitching staff as a whole, 24 from the starting rotation. So
one with Arnold is one of them.
Arnold is one of them. He was actually the second day starter, but our series this weekend is a little weird. It starts on Thursday against Miami, so big rivalry.
Ooh, is that here in Tally or Miami?
It's in Miami.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Jamie Arnold goes first.
Jamie's gonna go second.
Second.
Generally, your Friday guy. So since it starts Thursday, they're starting Joey Vellini, who is actually a USF transfer. So kind of a double.
Oh wow!
Jesuit started off at USF. Now he's up at Florida State. So he'll go Thursday. Friday will be Jamie Arnold, the best pitcher in the nation, arguably. And then Wes Mendez, who is really sneaking into the stats. He's quite a novelty to have on a Sunday. I think his ERA on the season is 0.66.
Jesus. And he's a Jesuit guy as well.
Jesuit guy. He's a transfer from Ole Miss. So, but of course, now he's back at Florida State. They're all lefties and they're all from Jesuit. So
how about that? They put the whole band back together.
Oh yeah, the whole band is back together, but they're all a little bit different.
And we got Noah Sheffield, also from Tampa Bay.
Yes, not playing too much because he's a freshman, but you can definitely notice him out there with that same bat waggle.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter. So he's not starting yet.
Not yet.
He's a freshman.
Nope. We've got a lot of
Gary's son.
freshmen, so it's a little bit tough to get in there, but I think he's going to be pretty good.
So Link Jarrett has taken the world by storm. It's the new coach. Used to play back in my day. I was covering Link Jarrett. So now he's killing it when recruiting and everything.
From recruiting to maximizing these guys' approach in their at-bats. That's a big thing this year that he's looking to do. But I can't say enough about him. Just on my one-on-ones, any interaction I've had, he is the most stand-up person I've ever met, probably on that campus.
How about that?
And you talk to the guys, you talk to like Micah Posey, the pitching coach. They're all just, they're great.
They love Link.
You want it so bad for these guys. And I don't think there's a single person at Florida State or a fan that wants that championship more than Link, because he's experienced it as a player.
Well, those of us have been around for a while and have never seen FSU win the College World Series. I was out there when I was working at Tallahassee in 1989. I went out there with that team, and I was working at Channel 27 there locally. That was one of the best. That was the best 2 weeks of my life in Omaha. Got all the way to the championship game and didn't finish it off. But we've been there so many times with Mike Martin, obviously. May he rest in peace. My good old time buddy, just a great dude. And he will be watching down when FSU someday wins it. Hey, this team could do it, though.
It could be this year.
Yeah.
I would love to see
Last year they didn't have the pitching. Now they got the pitching.
They have the pitching this year. The bats are a little less hot, but I don't know. That's what we've been saying all season. And they hit 9 home runs this weekend against Boston
Jesus.
College. Now, it was very windy and the weather was kind of optimal home run.
Blowing out to right field.
Yeah, big time. But, I mean, this team can hit the ball. So I think I would love to see it for Jamie Arnold, just, to watch him, the outstanding pitcher that he is, to add that to his resume. I think that would be just the icing on the cake. But
So they start in Miami Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend.
Friday,
okay.
Saturday, they're all night games, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be a hell of an atmosphere down there.
Oh,
Mark
big
Life
time.
Stadium. Well, that's what they used to call it down there.
Mhm.
One of the first AstroTurf fields I ever played on.
Mhm.
And I guess Director Alford is trying to get that Link Jarrett magic in the basketball program. So he reached down and got a former Seminole who'd been coaching in baseball at Notre Dame and got Link Jarrett. Now he's gone and found Luke Laux, who is from Clearwater here locally and played for FSU, played for Leonard Hamilton, 34 years old, and now the new basketball coach. I covered Sam Cassell back in the day, so I was hoping Sam would get the gig. So, but Luke, he did a great job at the press conference. He's never been a head coach. So what are your thoughts? What are people saying about Luke?
Well, I'll also say Alfred is a big baseball guy. So it's no surprise that he's trying to infiltrate maybe some of that strategy there. But I actually sat in on Luke Laux's press conference that Monday, a couple weeks ago. And I thought he was great. He gave a
great
lot
job.
of credit to Leonard Hamilton. I'm a huge fan of Ham as a person, but I think you see a lot of these older coaches starting to get out of there. And
Yeah,
I
it's
think
tough.
Luke is kind of the prime example of someone that you want in, and he's a Knoll through and through. So if you're a Florida State person,
I like keeping it in the family.
Yep, you love it. He talked about how he met his wife like 40 feet away from where the press conference was held in Doug Campbell Stadium.
How cool is that?
Yeah, she swam at FSU. And
Nice.
so, just as a girl, I enjoy those stories. But he talked about his approach. He is very big on, just keeping the team oriented and keeping it very tight knit. He's got great values. I think it's a great hire.
Well, we'll see. I'm a little skeptical because he hasn't had that head coaching chops, but he's been coaching in the NBA. He knows the game. And it's more about, being a CEO these days and being able to recruit and being able to retain guys. So we'll see what kind of talent he brings in. I think it's time for a fresh approach at Florida State in basketball. Leonard did a fantastic job. Tremendous dude. We love him to death. But looking forward to, because when you get to March Madness and you're, a team, an athletic program of Florida State stature, you got to be one of the top 68. You got to be in every year. You just got to be in the tournament, and it makes it so much more fun. I mean, look at what Florida's doing. I mean, they're the favorites to win the freaking tournament. So, we got to watch that. But I've learned to as a Seminole pull for the Gators because when you're doing this job, you want especially local kids, local teams, you want them all to do well. Rather see Florida win it than freaking Alabama or St. John's or any of these places. So, yeah, I've actually gotten to the point where I can root for the Gators. Many of my friends are Gators. Scott Jeeves, who are in the studio, he's a big Gator fan. So
Sponsor of the Gator Report.
Sponsor of the Gator Report. That's right. So
I was gonna say, you're better than me.
you can't. You're still young. Listen. It took me many years. Many years of therapy to get here. Trust me, and thousands of dollars to get here. It was not easy, but I've made it. Well, Emily, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Great job. Yeah, great. And that was brought to you by Italiano Insurance, the great Seminoles here. Our Seminole report with Emily Peters brought to you by Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 in case you want to save some money on your car insurance. Do that. All right, Timmy, anything else we got to do today?
I don't think so. I'm ready for lunch. By the way, it's National Sloppy Joe Day, so I will be celebrating with lunch with some Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joes are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, highly underrated. I think they get crapped on far too much.
I agree.
And it's, now I make them at home all the time.
Yep.
I make them all the time.
It's a staple.
Yeah. And with a nice potato roll, like those potato rolls,
so
soft way. Oh,
so I've been making mine lately on the onion bun.
That'll do. Yeah.
Because I put little slivers I'll grill the onions first.
Oh, yes.
Saute the onions first, and I'll put them in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to have onions in there. You got to doctor it up, your sloppy joes. If you're not doing that,
good.
Yeah. And by the way, don't put cheese on it.
Nope.
No cheese. It's just the sloppy joe in the bun. That's it.
If you do it right, that's all you need.
That's all you need. It's really, really good stuff. All right. Thank you guys for joining us as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the podcast if you listen live, or whether you want to listen later, you can do the podcast thing as well. And get on our social media as well at the JP Peterson Show, our new Twitter account. Have a great day, everybody. We will be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. See you then. Did you turn it down?